Hello guys, I wanted to consult with you on the comparison of the three different known ways of doing 3 reps, which are 3/3, 3/4, and 3/5. The first method, 3/3, allows you to use the full length of a standard set, which is sort of a jack of all trades. It allows you to lift heavy weights while also giving you a good amount of heart, like energy, emotions, feelings, stuff like that. However, it has one thing that might be a shortcoming. Maybe I could get used to it, or maybe I will never get used to it. I haven't tried doing 3/3 more than twice. When I do 3/3, I feel a bit as though I'm being suffocated, because I have to hold my breath in each rep to maintain intra-abdominal pressure. So, to not lose muscle strength and to not endanger my spine, I have to hold my breath when I'm in downward position and release it once I'm almost completely up. Basically, it's 1 breath per rep, and since it's only 3 reps for a full set length, each rep is pretty long, so it requires me to hold my breath for a pretty long time, which feels suffocating. That could be the only possible shortcoming of doing 3/3. Now about 3/4. This is a method in which you divide the entire set into 4 parts, but you do only 3. I think that it's actually a very popular method in many known stories. I am not sure why it is so popular. Maybe there is something very good about it that I don't understand yet. Personally, I haven't tried doing it myself yet, so I can only guess and theorize about its benefits. First of all, it makes breathing a lot more easy. You get 33% more air per set, which is a lot. When I used to do 4/4, I didn't have any problem with air. I felt as though I had just enough air. And doing 3/4 may be even easier from the air perspective, because the sets would be 25% shorter, which is a lot. So for something that was easy to breathe to begin with, to make it shorter by 25% would make breathing even more easy. So this could be a significant advantage over the 3/3. Also, it would allow a person to lift somewhat heavier weight. Regarding how heavier, I am not sure yet, because I haven't tried it. I haven't had the experience myself to see how heavier I could lift before beginning to struggle. However, I did a quick calculation based on the 1 rep maximum table that is available online on many websites. Basically, it's a table that links a percentage of your 1 rep maximum to how many reps you can do with it. So 90% is 4 reps and 93% is 3 reps, which means you would be only lifting 3.33% heavier weight if you did 3/4, 3/4 instead of 3/3. That is theoretically. It seems like only a minor increase in the weight that you lift in comparison to the huge 25% of the set time that you lose. So it might feel as though it might not be worth it, but in the real world the difference could be higher. I just don't know yet because I haven't tried it. Nevertheless, the breathing factor, that it's easier to breathe with, could be an important factor. Now about the 3/5. I think that this is a somewhat less popular method, in which you divide the entire set length of a standard set by 5, but do only 3 reps. I think that the training program that Iron Man uses in the first movie to build his arc reactor uses 3/5, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the palladium. But in the second movie, he also said that the palladium is unhealthy for him, that it is poisonous. So if the 3/5 is really that palladium, maybe it's not a good idea to do it if it's not very healthy. Or maybe, even if it is the palladium, maybe they simply made up that health problem for the sake of the story, and in the real world there would be no problem for health. At least in the area of poisoning. But doing 3/5, which is quite intensive, could pose some other health risk. It could endanger the joints, maybe, I don't know, but it is pretty intensive. So it could pose a risk to the joints, and it could require a warm-up, which is something that I don't really like doing. I like to leave the weight on the bar as it is without changing it. but I don't want to risk my joints. Also, with 3/5, you'd be doing only 60% of a standard set. You'd be lifting higher weights, but just like the 3/4, I don't know how much higher the weights will actually be. Anyway, to be honest, I am not really thinking about doing the 3/5 method. But the 3/4, which is very popular, I'm considering of doing to lift heavier weights and to breathe more easily. And possibly it has other benefits that I simply don't know yet, that I am not aware of them, and I simply haven't uncovered them yet, or haven't understood them. So what do you guys think about the comparison between those 3 methods of doing 3 reps? And what do you think about each one of them? And what do you recommend to me?